Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. In the wake of recent violent crimes targeting women, we took to the streets to ask members of the public, is enough being done to sensitize the public on gender-based violence?
Well, as a young person, I don't think enough is being done because in our communities, people don't speak about these situations. So if the government comes to the communities to speak about gender-based violence and domestic violence against women and all of that, they could curb it, but enough is not being done.
Yes, the police department, they're doing some work, but they themselves cannot, at that moment, they cannot control it. Reason why? Because the Bible stated in Chronicles, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and turn away from their wicked ways and seek my face, then will I come and heal their land. It is only by turning to God, it is only by surrendering our lives to Him that this country can be changed.
One of the reasons why I know, especially people that know about the law, like police officer, because I was friendly to one. And sometimes he abused me. Until then I bruised my knees. I had to go and make a report, and then he went and hid, and they never came back to see what really happened after that, you understand? So I think that people that know the law, they should take them to task, like police officers when they abusing women. That's what I think about.
With the authorities, sometimes they themselves create the things which is happening because of the laws and everything that they are passing. So sometimes the man thinks that he has rights so he can say this to his wife, or the woman thinks that she has rights so she can say what she wants to the husband. Now, this is something, frustration is something that's really dangerous within man on the whole, you know. So with the authorities self that passing on the laws sometimes, or what, as I said laws, both male and female. So it's like it's creating a bomb within the people themselves, you know. So it's like my wife, I have rights. I can say X, Y, Z to her because the law is for me. It gets to the head of the man, then I cannot control. And then I feel, well, I have to do something. The woman comes on the same.
When the men do the women what they want, they just putting them in the 40-star, 5 years, 6 years, and finish with that. No evidence they out there to do another woman with them.
Mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis, is concerned that dilapidated and abandoned buildings still mar the city center despite efforts by the CCC and the DCA to have them removed. Francis says it is unfortunate that such hazards are allowed to remain in the city and fears that their true danger will only be considered when an unsuspecting citizen is hurt.
Abandoned buildings are associated with a variety of social, economic, and environmental ills. They are said to contribute to illegal activity, homelessness, and drug use, now becoming a risk to first responders in the city of Castries, where the derelict structures often catch fire. In December 2019, the chairman of the Development Control Authority, DCA, put owners of abandoned buildings on notice, saying that if they do not address the issue, government would take steps in acquiring these properties to assure public safety. However, noting little success from this initiative, Castries Mayor Peterson Francis laments the blind eye being turned to the threat posed by these buildings in the city center.
We are in discussion with DCA because even these old buildings, I mean, just say for argument's sake, we have you know how long that building, the Ajuru building has been burned there? Right? I mean, St. Lucians, they are complaining about it. I know that DCA is doing the utmost to have something done about it, but so far, nothing. The owners of the building, I don't know, they're waiting for insurance reports, whatever. I had to contact the fire service. They say they are ready to do what they have to do.
Francis commended the DCA for their continued work to see this issue addressed, disclosing that he is in constant contact with the authority. He expressed great concern for the safety of citizens who walk near these structures on a daily basis, particularly in the case of the burnt Ajuda building, as its dilapidated verandas could come tumbling down at any moment.
It's there now, it becomes a monument. then until something happens, somebody passing under that building, people even vending under that building, what do you do? But they're going to tell you, if anything happened, where was the mayor of Castries? But people do not know that I'm on that on a daily basis. I'm in constant contact with the chairman of the DCA. He's working very hard to have something done about it. But we're in sweet paradise, St. Lucia.
The mayor says beyond the physical dangers posed by these properties, poor garbage disposal practices have become a significant issue. And though he has been in contact with the Solid Waste Management Authority to have the sites cleared of rubbish, there has been no indication that this will be done.
The other problem we have, as I said, is this: we are born in rubbish. And if I go behind the CDC, you go to certain places on Jeremy Street, these things are not being cleaned regularly. They have times, you can't even drive past behind the CDC because the rubbish is all in the road. And we have called on solid waste, we have called on survey, we have tried to work with solid waste, but they say they have private contractors. Here we go again.
Francis is appealing to property owners to have these buildings demolished or surrender them to local authorities who are capable of doing so. Jacko Wooding, Hot 7 News.
Several regional air carriers have risen to the occasion, offering flights to the Lesser Antilles after concern grew for the future of regional travel in the wake of the demise of Liat. Tourism Minister Dominic Fede says this is welcome news, particularly given that international carriers will soon begin decreasing flights into the island.
According to Minister for Tourism Dominic Fede, discussions with international carriers have revealed that a scale-back is in the pipeline for St. Lucia. He says as carriers continue to adapt to the new tourism market, which has emerged from the COVID-19 pandemic, it was expected that flight frequency would decrease, ensuring that only the most efficient trips are made.
We are tending to see some drop-off in airlift. We've had some indication from some of our airlines that they'll be scaling back just a little bit. Now that they have a very realistic understanding of what the demand is, we see that some of the airlines are tending to adjust their capacity to St. Lucia in an effort to better align their supply with the current demand for travel at this present time.
Fede says there is a silver lining, with several regional carriers now advertising new flights to St. Lucia. With the travel bubble still in effect, he believes that St. Lucia can only stand to benefit from this increased interest.
The Caribbean is one of those easy markets for us to work with. The rate of COVID incidents continue to be low, and it is considered a safe zone, which is why we consider a lot of the countries in the travel bubble are from the Caribbean, but there was a question of the availability of airlift. So now that we're seeing that this coming back gradually, this is welcome news. I know that Caribbean Airlines was supposed to have started, and then One Caribbean would have started their flights.
The minister says things are already looking up for the tourism sector, proving St. Lucia's resilience as a sought-after destination. Jacko Wooding, Hot 7 News.
In an effort to increase the participation of young people in St. Lucia's democratic process, the National Youth Council has undertaken a youth voter education campaign in collaboration with the Electoral Department. Jacko Wooding tells us more in this report.
On Tuesday, July 14th, the St. Lucia National Youth Council met with voter and civic education officer Olympia Lionel to discuss the coordination of a youth voter campaign leading up to the 2020-2021 national general elections. As explained by coordinator Ajani Labon, the campaign will aim to achieve an increase in the overall voter turnout by targeting St. Lucia's youth populace.
The voter education campaign seeks to increase the youth voter turnout, which, based on the statistics provided at the last general election, was 53.27%. We're hoping that we're also able to reduce the amount of invalid votes by providing proper public education initiatives to allow for young people to be aware as to their voter rights, and will also be aware as to the key elements of the voting process.
The project aims to decrease the illegitimacy of ballots, as the Electoral Department recorded a total of 2,223 spoiled ballots out of the 86,525 ballots cast during the 2016 general elections. Additionally, the campaign will seek to record youth participation in the democratic process leading to the general elections from registration to voting.
We think this is all part of a process of creating a more inclusive structure for the NYC, whereby young people from all walks of life could feel a sense of ownership with the organization. We also hope that the feedback from those discussions will feed into more or less a declaration or outcome document, which can provide, a breakdown as to the priorities for youth development and a statement of where young people see, St. Lucia moving towards as it pertains to, of course, the mainstreaming of youth, and also ensuring that young people are encouraged to be part of political processes through that campaign.
The 2020-2021 Youth Voter Education Campaign will seek to engage the youth through a series of formal and informal activities, comprising of social media competitions, mock voting centers, focus group discussions, social events, youth town hall sessions, and constituency debates. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.